light heavyweight, some light heavyweight, something I didn't really see him do that. He did that.
Canelo lands good punches. I think Canelo could hurt Crawford. Crawford's, first time in that division and jumping two divisions.
Way that Terence Crawford being to me my favorite fighter. I mean, the best fighter pound for pound can be Canelo. I mean, a 147 pounder moving up to 68.
Floyd Mayweather explains why Terence Crawford will never beat Canelo Alvarez, pointing to the significant weight disadvantage and stressing that moving up several divisions is about more than just skill. It's about handling size, power, and endurance at the elite level. He notes that Canelo has consistently faced naturally bigger opponents throughout his career, while Crawford is stepping into unfamiliar territory, and suggests that this gap will be too much for Crawford to overcome despite his technical brilliance.
Because of the weight disadvantage. I can't go all the way up to 180 or 190 pounds.
Robert Garcia emphasizes that Terence Crawford's lack of experience at super middleweight poses one of the biggest challenges of his career. While Crawford has displayed brilliance across multiple divisions, Garcia points out that stepping into Canelo Alvarez's natural weight class is far more dangerous than any of his previous moves. He stresses that Canelo has spent years perfecting his craft against naturally bigger opponents, whereas Crawford has yet to prove he can maintain his sharpness, speed, and conditioning at such a size. Garcia adds that Crawford's body has not fully adapted to the added weight, making him appear less explosive and less fluid than before, something that could become a crucial factor when facing a seasoned champion like Canelo, who thrives in this division.
Two divisions where he only had one fight at 154 and didn't look his best either. So there's a lot of questions, about that. And that's why a lot of people think Canelo is going to knock out Crawford. But I'm probably one of the only ones that I do give Crawford a chance. Yeah. I think Crawford can pull it off. Crawford is very talented. He's very fast. He's very smart in the ring. So I think a perfect fight, Crawford could pull up a decision.
Okay.
I think he could win a decision. I don't pick him. I wouldn't put my money on him winning because it's a very dangerous, risky fight, especially with Canelo being so strong. But Canelo's last few performances, he looks slow, flat-footed, looking for one punch at a time. And if that's the Canelo that fights Crawford, Crawford could win a decision. Crawford could outbox him, could outsmart him, could land 3-4 punch combinations and move and win a decision. So do I give Crawford a chance? 100% think Crawford could pull it up. Would I put my money on it? Probably not. Yeah. But I do give him a chance.
Good stuff. Look, Robert, I appreciate you taking time to speak to me. I appreciate you letting me in the gym today. Always a pleasure. And hopefully be catching up sometime soon. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Very
Cheers.
Much.
Appreciate the adult underlines the monumental stakes of the Crawford versus Canelo fight. He argues that if Crawford manages to overcome Canelo's size and power, his legacy would soar to unprecedented heights, firmly placing him alongside Floyd Mayweather in the all-time great conversation. Beating a fighter of Canelo's stature, he notes, would cement Crawford as the greatest pound-for-pound fighter of his generation, erasing any lingering doubts about his resume. However, Show Eyes is careful to stress that such an achievement would not automatically surpass Mayweather's legacy. Instead, it would place Crawford directly behind him in boxing history, as Mayweather's undefeated career and dominance across multiple eras remain unmatched.
3-time undefeated is the thing. If you were to beat Canelo, Terence Crawford, at that point, pound for pound, right under Floyd. Right under. Wherever you got Floyd, I put whatever you got him, Terence Crawford's right behind. Unless you got him close. Okay, how about me? I don't have Floyd in my top. I have Pacquiao. So I know somebody's about to give me, but I would put Terence Crawford. Man, shit. Man, that's old school. That's Henry Armstrong, Sam Langford. Like that's old. That's Joe Gans and Barbados Joe Walcott. Barbados, not Jersey. I'm Barbados. Like that's old school accomplishment. Man, that's throwback. I would have to assess it. 3-time undisputed in the 4-belt era, and against who? Yo, that. I don't think Pacquiao would have I don't think he achieved anything in a single fight that would be greater than Terence Crawford jumping up 3 weight classes and beating him. I don't think Pacquiao achieved anything in a single fight greater than not in a single fight. Beating Cotto, I feel because Cotto was weight drained. Has Floyd done anything? Well, he beat Canelo.
The possibility of Crawford leaping into such rarefied status makes this fight not just a showdown, but a defining moment in the sport's history. 4. Jeff Mayweather reacts strongly to Canelo Alvarez's claim that Crawford is better than Floyd, arguing that such a statement is less about truth and more about Canelo trying to elevate himself by comparison. He explains that since Canelo lost convincingly to Floyd Mayweather, suggesting that Crawford is superior gives Canelo an indirect way of excusing his own defeat. Jeff emphasizes that while Crawford is extremely talented, he has not yet matched Floyd's level of dominance or his achievements across the sport. For him, Floyd's undefeated record and the way he consistently handled elite opponents throughout his career speak for themselves, and no comparison should be made until Crawford accomplishes far more.
Possibly remember, Canelo that time was a razor-thin decision. Floyd won, majority decision. C.J. Ross had what a lot of people had as a draw. And then the other 2 judges scored it for Floyd, of course. And that was a Floyd at the top of his game with a very green Canelo with very little experience, and still took him, into deep water. So
what was Canelo? 21, 21.
Yeah, he was. Very, very young in the game, obviously. Yeah, but
36.
But Floyd was clearly at the top of his career, and Canelo had fought a lot of people, but
William Crawford 36. That's not your prime.
Did he lose? I mean, it's different for different people.
And so, and that's why Canelo was saying what he's saying.
Diaz dismisses Crawford's chances outright, pointing to the overwhelming size difference. He reminds audiences that Canelo has stood toe-to-toe with heavy hitters who possess both power and durability. If Canelo could absorb punches from someone of Golovkin's caliber, Diaz questions how Crawford, who has fought men closer to his own natural size, can inflict serious damage. For Diaz, Crawford's skill set, while impressive, cannot bridge the gap in physicality. He stresses that fighters often underestimate the toll of moving up in weight until they feel the power of naturally bigger opponents. In this case, Diaz believes Canelo's resilience and strength create a mountain that Crawford simply cannot climb.